Hello and welcome to the Global Automotive Report. I'm Mike Lewis. Topping the news today, French automaker Citroën announced it will introduce a modified version of its C4 model in China. Called the C-Triumph, it'll be built in conjunction with Dongfeng Motors and will be priced at 180,000 yuan, or about $22,000. Citroën is counting on the new model to boost sales in China, which slipped 8% last year. The C-Triumph will make its debut in the second half of the year. Auto supplier Arvin Meritor said it will sell its oil filter brand Purolator to Bosch and Mann & Hummel to be run as a joint venture between the two German companies. The move is part of Arvin Meritor's plan to divest its aftermarket businesses and will improve Bosch and Mann & Hummel's market position in North America. The deal is slated to be completed in a couple of weeks, but is still subject to regulatory approval. General Motors announced that it will build its hybrid powertrain at an Allison plant in Baltimore. GM is jointly developing the hybrid system with BMW and Daimler Chrysler for rear drive and front drive applications. GM says it will invest $118 million in the plant and add 87 new jobs. In related news, GM said the first vehicles to get that hybrid system, the Chevy Tahoe and GMC Yukon, will be built at its plant in Arlington, Texas. The vehicle should get 25% better fuel economy. Production begins in late 2007, and they will be sold as 2008 models. Mazda is now starting to lease a version of the RX-8 sports car that can run on hydrogen. The company notes that the rotary engine in the car is ideally suited to running on hydrogen. Mazda hopes it can help spur the development of a hydrogen infrastructure. The lease payments come to $3,500 a month and will only be offered in the Japanese markets to special fleets. That wraps up today's automotive news headlines. Right now, let's look at the evolving world of vehicle audio systems. John McElroy reports on one of the latest developments in digital radio.
Automakers are always trying to come up with new features to entice people to come in and buy their cars. And the latest technology in car audio is what they call HD radio, or digital radio. It completely transforms the way that radio sounds in your car, especially AM. AM now sounds as good as FM. In fact, some broadcasters say that AM stations may have a revival playing music just because it sounds so good. I just ran across Jeff McGannon from the company called Ubiquity. They're the guys who invented HD radio, and he explained a little bit of what it's all about.
Well, HD radio is really when we convert the analog broadcast you hear today to a digital broadcast. So what we're listening to now is HD2. And in HD2, this is actually a secondary channel on each of the frequencies that are already allocated for the FM. So here in Detroit, we have our favorite station, The Drive, if you will, which is 106.7. If we listen to the main channel, we can hear their normal broadcast. We can actually hear what the analog listeners would listen to today that don't have an HD radio. Now, when they purchase the HD radio, they have the ability to listen to HD1, but then also go to HD2, which is on the same frequency, but a totally different broadcast. In this case, this is all live rock, so it gives us the ability to have much more content on the FM band.
So each radio station really can have more than one broadcast going at the same time.
Absolutely. The technology allows up to 8 additional digital-only channels. For the time being, it'll probably be 2 to 3 different channels. But actually, at the moment, there are many stations broadcasting, at least 2, and would give the ability to have not only this the separate content, which is commercial-free, and then could have a third channel, which is actually data-only, or traffic information or weather broadcasts.
Right now you can buy HD radio in the aftermarket and retrofit it into any kind of car. But BMW will be the first manufacturer to offer HD radio in the 6 and 7 series, and it'll go for about $500. But Ubiquity, the company that invented HD radio, says in about another 2 years there's going to be at least a half a dozen manufacturers that will offer HD radio in a couple of dozen different cars. For the Global Automotive Report, I'm John McElroy. Back to you, Mike.
In other technology news, no matter the age, throughout the years, parallel parking has been a challenge for many drivers. That's one of the reasons Citroën has developed a prototype with a feature called City Park that parallel parks on its own. When the car passes an open spot, it alerts the driver, who stops the vehicle and pushes a button. Here's where City Park takes over. The driver puts the car in reverse, and the system turns the steering wheel and automatically backs the car into the parking spot. Here's a look at how City Park works.
Avancez doucement. Passez au point mort. Manœuvre est terminée.
Another technological wonder on wheels. Unfortunately, you still have to put the money in the parking meters. Thanks for joining us for today's edition of the Global Automotive Report. I'm Mike Lewis. We'll see you next time.